Hello Power Rangers Lightning Collection fans, and welcome back to Toku Topics. Today is an overdue video, but it's also a special one because this is the very first one that I'm filming on my brand new iPhone. So I've switched phones for the first time in 3 years, so we're testing this out to see how this goes. But this is my finally getting to it review of the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Deluxe Wave 4, or like technically the Remastered line, or whatever you want to call it, Rita Repulsa figure. So this one is really cool. It is a re-release of a figure from 2020, specifically this one, the Wedding 2-pack release that came with Lord Zed. But this one was never accurate because it had this silver dress because it was the 25th anniversary silver wedding edition and stuff like that. So the Lightning Collection has never had an actual show-accurate Rita. So thank goodness we finally got one right as the line was taking a break. So this is a fantastic release. I got mine on Hasbro Pulse as part of their season's savings event, so I did not pay full price for this, and I believe it's still in stock there, I think, and the sale's still going on till like the end of the month or something like that, so you might still have an opportunity to get it. But of course here we have the same kind of packaging that Minotaur had. She's kind of the wave mate of Minotaur. We have artwork right there that is kind of reminiscent of the remastered artwork. Of course the render there, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers logo not on here. I don't know why I said that. Mighty Morphin Rita Lightning Collection logo. On the side, you got the anniversary logo and kind of the same sort of rainbow design that's on the remastered. And then you get the anniversary logo and Rita back there. On the back, of course, you have the render. You have everything she comes with. This is a significant upgrade. She has a lot more hand options, I believe. You have a much better painted staff, the accurate dress, and swappable face tiles, which I think is really, really cool. So that's all we have for this. So let's go ahead and open this up and take a look at the Lightning Collection Rita Repulsa. Alright, so here is Rita out of the box with all of her accessories, and this is a great figure. This is the Lightning Collection Rita that I always wanted. So, really good. I love how this turned out. Let's go ahead and take a look at her here. Paint application-wise, love the metallic gold that she has here. I think the face is a good likeness if it wants to focus on it, compared to the show and everything like that, and the G-Ranger footage. I definitely see it in there. Love all the design choices. You got the nice proper gold trim on the dress. It is a brand new dress. I thought it might have just been the original dress with the proper trim, but it is a completely different dress. It's a lot thicker and a little bit more bigger and stuff like that, and they definitely redid this entire thing. I'm assuming that the figure is also different, and I believe that it is because this is pinless. So I think she double jointed or single jointed. I think she does have single jointed elbows. So that hasn't changed, but it is a pinless figure now, which I don't think that it was a couple years ago. At least I would imagine that it probably was not. So, fantastic. Really, really, really like it. It's good. It's very good. It has the same kind of issue that the original one had, or really any figure with like a soft goods robe or anything, and that is that it's kind of hard to find where the articulation is, and you don't want to bend the elbows the wrong way because they are prone to break. I've had that happen on this kind of female joint before in the Lightning Collection with my Psycho Yellow, so be a little bit careful in trying to find the joints, but the dress really does help hide them, and I really do like how this looks, and I'll compare it to the original wedding release here in a minute. She does kind of sometimes have a hard time standing because her feet just doesn't want to necessarily always find a way to stand, but there she is. And I feel like these kind of droop down a little bit too far on her sleeves there, but overall, it's very good if you get it in the right pose. And then, of course, you have her magic wand to make her monsters grow, and it is really, really good. So, much better painted and detailed than the original 2020 release was. Before, we never had all this amount of detail there, nor did I think we had the nice gold paint down there, or the gold there. So this isn't an actual chain like it is on the Super 7 Ultimates one, but this is perfectly acceptable. This is a very, very good representation of her magic wand. I do think it might also be maybe a little bit bigger than the original Rita one. I don't quite remember. It has been a couple years. And then for hands, for her left hand, you get this pointing finger, in addition to if it wants to focus. There we go. So you get this pointing finger. This is actually her right hand. I don't know why I said left before. And then you get this kind of grippy hand. All of which have these nice gold rings painted on. And then you get this kind of alternate holding hand. She kind of has the gripping hand or the claw hand on her hand already. And then you get a fist to go with... Is that another fist? No. So it's like open hand, split open hands, all that kind of stuff. But one of the coolest things are these additional faceplates. So you get, it's kind of hard to show them off, You get this kind of maniacally laughing one. And then you also get this I have a headache one, which I really, really like. And they're actually pretty simple to change them out. So obviously we had the original one here. You kind of just have to get your fingernail underneath the kind of part of her neck there. And then it should be pretty easy from that point forward to just pop the tile off. And then we can make her have a headache by just plopping that in there. And I love that. I think that is a fantastic feature that is a lot better than having like an entire alternate head, because you really wouldn't need that. And I think that this was a good compromise to make this work. So there's her headache head, and then we'll kind of take this one out and get the kind of, you know, evil laughing one, or whatever you want to call that one. It's kind of like a make my monsters grow one or something. If it wants to actually swap this faceplate, it's in there pretty good. All right, and there's the last one. So you can kind of have her with her magic wand or something. Whatever you want to do there. I think all three of them are really good likenesses too. So I think that helps in making this piece a really fun accessory. And then the last thing she gets, I didn't mention it before, is just one of those lightning effect pieces. This is the same one that we had with Astronema, both times we got her and everything. I think we've had it in like this pink before. This might be a new shade that we haven't had, but it's a pretty typical effect piece that we have for like staffs and stuff like that. So it works. It's perfectly acceptable. But let's go ahead and bring in the older Rita to compare the two. Okay, so here is the original 2020 Silver Wedding Anniversary Rita with the new sort of remastered one. It's not officially branded as Remastered, nor is it actually technically branded as Deluxe Wave 4, but that makes more sense to me than that. But this, I mean, it's so much better. Like, I thought this was a perfectly acceptable figure for what it was in 2020, but this blows it out of the water. I didn't really realize how, like, low and kind of small the dress printing was until we saw it on here. As you can see, the dress is a lot, like, bulkier, which I think looks a lot better, because she always kind of had that sort of roundish, sort of, like, cone shape to her dress, compared to this one, which was a little bit more too close to the legs. You also have a lot more gold paint on the chest there, which I very much appreciate. For the most part, like, I mean, it's a completely different sculpt. Like, I did not even realize that it would be. I kind of thought maybe there'd be some reuse, but, like, this is definitely bigger here. This is a completely different head, especially because of the swappable face tiles. I think the likeness is so much better than this one was. So, honestly, I don't really even like this one anymore all that much. I never really did because of that silver wedding dress trim that wasn't accurate. The Z in that set was a lot better because it was the one that had the silver trim on the fingers, which was not present on the Wave 1 one. So if you have the second release of Zed with the new Rita, then you have a pretty good evil couple there going on, which I really like. But this is pretty much completely useless to me now. This one is so much better. Let me go ahead and check. Did this one have pins on the legs? It definitely did. So like even the undersuit body is different since this is pinless, which would make sense. So easily wins out. If you never got the wedding set, it was a cool novelty set. Still one of my favorite reveals ever when they did that infomercial kind of thing. But if you never got it a couple years ago, and you can track down a regular Wave 1 Zed, because the only thing they're really missing is the staff pointing in the right direction and that extra silver paint, then I can easily recommend just skipping that wedding set and getting this one. And even if you have the wedding set, get this Rita. This is the show Rita that we should have had in the first place, that I'm glad that we got now. It's really good. And with that, that is going to do it for my review of the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Deluxe Wave 4 Rita Repulsa figure. So this is definitely going to be on my top 10 figures of the year list when I do that next month. I do say that the effect piece is a little weird on her staff. It kind of took me some finagling to get this to kind of be in a pose that I thought makes sense. Kind of like blasting some energy out to like make her monsters grow. It's kind of a weird one, but I like this figure a lot. It's exactly the kind of Rita that I never knew that I needed. Or I guess I did know that I needed since I wasn't the biggest fan of the original one, but it's such an upgrade. It's really a great release for the 30th anniversary. I'm glad that we have it. I would have loved, and maybe hopefully still would love, to see this be turned into like a Robo Rita from Once and Always, especially with those swappable faceplates. I think you could easily do that with a little bit of minor retooling. Maybe that was the point of this. Maybe this was like a pre-tool for that. I don't know, but if you have not picked this up yet, I highly recommend it. I don't believe it's in stock on Amazon anymore, but I will leave an affiliate link to it there in the description below in case it ever does go back in stock. I'm sure that it will, because this was just a wide release figure, but definitely one I would not want to skip, especially if you got the Remastered Rangers. You got to get a Rita to go with it, and this is the one to get. So let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of this figure? How do you think it compares to the original pack? Do you like the original release from 2020? Did you skip that one and are going to get this one? If you got the Super 7 Ultimates one, how do you think it compares to that? I don't have that set or that release in my collection yet, but I hope to get it eventually, and then I will compare the two. But anything about it, down in the comments below, I want to hear it. And of course, until next time, you guys can follow me on Twitter at LiveRangerKey or LightningFigPR. And also, since this was the first video with my iPhone, let me know, did you like it? Was it better? I'm still trying to figure it all out, so that's going to do it. I'll see you all later. To wrap up this video, I'd like to thank my $5 and above patrons: Jurassic Samurai, Maggot Alchemist, Robert Browning, Static Thunder, Brendan Overland, Maji Yellow, MCPC Studios, James Doherty, Eric Berry, Matthew Thorne, Josh Landry, Pyramidus, CBT Tesla, Cross SCV, Caboose Ed, Socket Monsters, Daniel Pika, Hella Geo, Thrasher, Jesus Prime, Uni Warrior Thomas, Louis Carnes, and Carlos Alfredo. You can support Toku Topics for as little as $1 a month on my Patreon, linked in the description below.